The 1980s was an unforgettable decade. It gave us legendary movies, catchy music, bold fashion, and some of the most iconic stars ever to light up the screen. But where are these 80s stars we once idolized now? Some have continued to shine, while others slipped away from the spotlight, leaving fans wondering what happened. Today, we're diving into a list of 15 celebrities from the 1980s that Hollywood seems to have forgotten. Some became household names, but ultimately chose different paths and quietly walked away. And some, well, let's just say, peaked in that decade, and life hasn't been so glamorous since. So grab your favorite snack and get ready for a nostalgic ride to an era of neon lights and boomboxes.
Always do the right thing.
Number 1. Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid sensation.
Wax on, wax off.
The phrase wax on, wax off became an instant catchphrase in 1984 because of Ralph Macchio's iconic role, the Karate Kid. He was an A-list actor and a teenage idol in the 1980s. Everyone was charmed by his movie character, Daniel LaRusso, admiring his transformation from a bullied child to a karate champion. But after the Karate Kid trilogy, he shifted to smaller projects, such as Crossroads and My Cousin Vinny. He made a few guest appearances, but he struggled to achieve the same level of success. Nevertheless, here's the twist. Years later, he returned to the scene with Cobra Kai, the hit series that resurrected his role as Daniel LaRusso. Gaining a new generation of fans, it was like he'd never left the scene. His journey reminds us that, at times, stepping away can lead to an even better comeback. Number 2. Phoebe Cates, Fast Times at Ridgemont High star. Next on the list is Phoebe Cates, famous for her role in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Who can forget her iconic swimsuit scene that became a pop culture moment, making her the ultimate babe of the 1980s? She had that charm and the looks to make everyone fall for her instantly. After a string of successful roles, including as Kate Barringer in the horror comedy Gremlins, Cates made an unexpected decision. After getting married to Kevin Kline, she decided to quit her acting career and focus more on her family life and her husband. Phoebe's choice shows that fame wasn't everything for her, and she was more than just a Hollywood heartthrob. She became a motivated mother and opened a boutique store in New York called Blue Tree. Fans still remember her with love and admire her for her roles that defined an era. Number 3. Andrew McCarthy, member of the Brat Pack. Do you remember the Brat Pack? Well, our next celebrity on the list is a famous member of this group. Brat Pack was a nickname given to a famous group of young actors who made the industry famous in the 1980s. They frequently appeared together in teen-oriented coming-of-age films. Andrew McCarthy starred in classic films like Pretty in Pink and St. Elmo's Fire. He had all that boyish charm mixed with a quiet intensity the audience could not get enough of. But surprisingly, just as he changed his path. He went from an elite class actor to an extraordinary director and a renowned writer. He found more success behind the scenes and wrote several travel pieces for major publications. He might be excelling in another career. Nevertheless, his fans still love him. He is still remembered as that cool, misunderstood guy from the Brat Pack. Number 4. Jennifer Grey, Dirty Dancing lead actress.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner. Does that ring a bell? Jennifer Grey was the baby in the movie Dirty Dancing in the 80s. Everyone was in love with her charming personality and amazing dance moves. After her huge success, she decided to go for a nose job, which took a terrible turn as her appearance changed so much she was barely recognizable. Even she joked about it, stating that she became invisible in Hollywood after her surgery. She continued her acting journey, but unfortunately got only smaller roles in television projects over time. She made a small comeback on Dancing with the Stars, a reality show all about dancing. There, she showcased her fantastic dance skills, leaving many amazed. Most longtime fans are just happy to see her thriving again. Number 5. Molly Ringwald, the Breakfast Club star. Those who grew up in the 80s will remember Molly Ringwald. She starred in some of the most classic movies like 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, and Pretty in Pink. Back then, she was the defining teen star of the Brat Pack era. Then, why does she leave it all behind? Despite her Hollywood success, she actually decided to retire, instead looking into other pursuits beyond acting, such as writing and theater. According to Ringwald, Hollywood typecast her as a nice girl, and as she matured, she too desired stronger and more mature roles. This did not happen. She then relocated to France and pursued fresh paths in literature and theater. In the past 2 years or so, Molly has returned to the acting scene by acting in The Secret Life of the American Teenager. In addition to writing novels, she occasionally performs in playhouse productions. It is wonderful to see her realize more of her dreams as her life progresses.
What's that?
Sushi.
Sushi? Rice, raw fish, and seaweed.
You won't accept a guy's tongue in your mouth and you're gonna eat that?
Can I eat?
I don't know. Give it a try.
Number 6. Rick Moranis, star of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Next, we have Rick Moranis. He was known to be one of the funniest men in Hollywood. He showed his extraordinary talent for acting in classic comedies like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, and Little Shop of Horrors. Fans will know him as the adorable goofball that stole every scene with his quirky charm. But unfortunately, at the end of the decade, he vanished from the scene. So what happened? Well, in the 1990s, he and his family faced a tragedy. His wife suddenly passed away. He decided to take a break from his acting career and raise his 2 kids independently. Choosing his family over fame, he left many people appreciating and loving him even more. As of the latest news, in 2020, he signed to reprise his role of Wayne Szalinski in a new sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, called Shrunk, though the project was later put on hold. Nevertheless, his fans are excited to see him emerging back on the scene after 23 years of hiatus. Number 7. Emilio Estevez, star of The Outsiders and The Breakfast Club. Moving forward, we have Emilio Estevez, that iconic star of the 1980s who truly did justice to the era and perfectly captured its spirit. He starred in the most iconic and classic movies of Hollywood, like The Breakfast Club, The Outsiders, Elmo's Fire, and Repo Man. He too was a member of the 80s Brat Pack with some iconic and relatable characters. You might be wondering, where is he now? Well, as time went on, he wanted to focus more on his personal development and shifted his focus to independent filmmaking, directing, and even doing some smaller projects. For a quite short tenure, he stepped out of the spotlight to focus more on his personal life. He returned to the big screen briefly for the Disney Plus show The Mighty Ducks, Game Changers, reprising his role as Coach Bombay. He might not be the blockbuster star he once was, but he still shines, just in more subtle ways. Number 8. C. Thomas Howell, The Outsiders and Red Dawn star. C. Thomas Howell, better known by his nicknames Tommy or CT, was one of the most anticipated and loved actors from the 1980s. He was famous for his roles as Ponyboy in The Outsiders and Jim Halsey in The Hitcher. But his career really took a turn when he started to act in cult classics like Red Dawn. So what happened after? Well, he continued his acting career but shifted to smaller roles, such as TV shows and indie films. He has also worked on some voice work and other creative projects. He was busy with different projects but never again commanded the Hollywood spotlight. Nevertheless, he is a perfect example of how you should keep chasing your passion, despite the challenges that life throws at you. Number 9. Kelly McGillis, Top Gun. If you picture Tom Cruise in the classic movie Top Gun, his character as Maverick will pop up in your head. His love interest Charlie was equally iconic, and the character was played by none other than Kelly McGillis. Apart from Top Gun, she also appeared in some classic movies like Witness in 1985, The Accused of 1988, Made in Heaven in 87, and The House on Carroll Street in 88. For many years, she has been involved in theater. Because of her devotion to theater and independent projects, she concentrated on smaller productions. She saw acting not as a means to fame, but as an art form. She even got the chance to teach acting. She also struggled with her fair share of illnesses, including alpha-1 antitrypsin disorder, which causes lung and liver damage. Eventually, she chose to focus more on her family and personal life than her stardom in Hollywood. She had been open about her struggles in life, especially her drug addiction. She has been an open advocate for recovery and rehabilitation. Nonetheless, Kelly is proud of her work and continues to inspire fans with her talent and perseverance.
And you think I'm reckless? When I fly, I'll have you know that my crew and my plane come first.
Number 10. Alyssa Milano, Who's the Boss star. Do you remember Who's the Boss? You must remember that girl with her lush hair and an alluring smile. Well, she was played by the highly talented actress Alyssa Milano. She is also known for her iconic rewatch podcasts like Melrose Place and Charmed. But have you ever wondered what happened to her after the show ended and where she is now? Well, she transfigured her path from acting to activism. Milano has been a vocal advocate for social causes. She has been a fervent feminist who has personally promoted it by speaking out in favor of the Me Too movement. In addition to advocating for women's rights, she has brought attention to environmental sustainability and other social issues. She's a prime example of using fame for a greater purpose. Her life after Hollywood proves she's more than just a former child actress. She's a passionate advocate, using her platform to speak out on issues that really matter. Number 11. Judd Nelson, the Breakfast Club actor. We have another Brat Pack member on the list, Judd Nelson. He introduced the rebellious teenager in his character Bender in the 1980s classic The Breakfast Club. He was the very definition of the word bad boy. He was a rebel and an icon with his edgy charm. But do you know where he is and what he is doing these days? Nelson gained a lot of popularity from his roles back in the 1980s. This made his presence in Hollywood solid enough as a teenage idol and a very talented actor plus icon. He continued his career in Hollywood, but he kept tilting towards smaller roles and TV appearances. He acted in 2.5 Men and Empire, which proved that he still had his acting chops despite being out of the spotlight. The fact that he continues to communicate with his fans on social media is fantastic. Number 12. Anthony Michael Hall, Weird Science, and The Breakfast Club. Now let's talk about our next star from the Brat Pack, Anthony Michael Hall. He has been playing teenage roles in Tom Hughes movies of the 1980s. He played the nerdy guy in Weird Science, and everyone instantly fell in love with his quirky character. Other than that, he is famous for his character Farmer Ted in the movie 16 Candles in 1984. And Brian Johnson in The Breakfast Club in 1985. But the question is, where is he now? Well, he just was not as successful as his peers from the 1980s. Nevertheless, he still kept his tenacious presence in the industry. He appeared in many TV shows and movies and wanted to explore more, so he played different characters apart from being a teenage nerdy boy. He is still remembered for his iconic role in the classics of the 1980s, and he remains a popular and beloved figure of pop culture. Number 13. Kim Basinger, Batman actress. Next up, we have Kim Basinger, who was one of the most famous and leading actresses of the 1980s. Her varied acting skills and striking appearance were demonstrated in her roles in films such as L.A. Confidential as Lynn Bracken and Never Say Never Again as Bond Girl. She won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role in L.A. Confidential. However, she had some ups and downs in her life, facing some pretty difficult setbacks due to her involvement in high-profile financial troubles. Due to this, she made headlines from time to time, but for all the wrong reasons. Still, she managed to bounce back every time and continued working in the film industry. She has appeared in movies and TV shows, such as The Katie, Portrait of a Centerfold in 1978, Natural in 1984, 9.5 Weeks in 86, 8 Mile in 2002, 50 Shades Darker in 2017, and Charlie's Angels in 1976, demonstrating her enduring appeal to audiences. She is a shining star of resilience who continues to inspire thousands of people to this day. Number 14. Daphne Zuniga, Spaceballs star. Now let's have a chat about one of the classic icons of the 1980s, Daphne Zuniga. She was a marvelous and charming actress who worked in classics such as Spaceballs as Princess Vespa and in Melrose Place as Jo Reynolds. She captured many people's hearts with her exceptional talent and charm as a comedic actress. So where is she now? Well, she has now attributed herself to social activism, championing social issues like environmental sustainability and wildlife conservation. She has continued her career as an actress simultaneously, appearing on various TV shows like One Tree Hill and American Dreams. She is one of those people who uses their platform to help others and raise their voices while balancing her acting career and activism.
If you do not give me the combination to the air shield, Dr. Slotkin will give your daughter back her old nose.
Number 15. Jan Michael Vincent, Airwolf star. Finally, we have Jan Michael Vincent, our brooding, cool pilot from the classic series Airwolf. He was one of the major action stars of the 1980s. His other notable roles include Matt Johnson in Big Wednesday of 1978 and Byron Henry in The Winds of War in 1983. He was one of the aces of this era. He had a really intense on-screen presence and a rugged charm, deservingly making him among the highest paid actors on TV of his time. But unfortunately, behind the scenes, he was leading a difficult life, marked marked by addiction, substance abuse, and ongoing legal issues. All of this eventually impacted his acting career, and he gradually vanished from the screen. He passed away on February 10, 2019 at the age of 74, leaving behind a complex legacy. His life as an icon from the 1980s is still remembered today. He might not be here physically, but he will always stay alive in the hearts of millions. And this wraps up our trip down memory lane with the 15 forgotten celebrities of the 80s, who own the era with unforgettable roles and iconic moments that defined a generation. Each of these actors shaped the pop culture we know today. Some remain the iconic stars they were before, but some of them had a tragic downfall in their life, leading them to be off of the big screen. We hope that this list brought back some fond memories. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe for more engrossing historical explorations. Tell us in the comments which actor from the 80s was your favorite.